Okay, now Facebook has accepted the stream. YouTube has got to get the stream again. Okay, so okay, now I can send you guys the link. John, you could look up the link on your phone, can't you?
Yeah, I'm on Think Twice Radio here. Or I can get it in, let's see. Oh, I could see us here. Okay. I just have to.
So when you're ready and everybody else is ready, I can start the timer.
Okay, I think we're ready.
I don't think everyone else is ready though, Matt.
Okay, wait.
Who's ready?
Let me see. I'm going to Think Twice. Okay. I can't share it though. Share. I can't share it. Wait, share now. Okay, I think I'm sharing. Okay, sorry, I am sharing. Okay.
Okay, we're all shared up?
Yeah, we're all shared up. Okay.
When it says on the air, you're on the air. Okay, Matt?
Okay.
I would turn off your volume there.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, Think Twice Radio, and welcome to another exciting episode of Small Talk with Matt and John.
Yeah.
I'm Matt.
And I'm John. And today we have Frederick Seaton, artist, writer.
Very exciting show.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Frederick.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Who are you?
Who is anybody?
Who is
Yeah.
Frederick?
Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Lackawanna?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Cool. Okay.
I was born in Tennessee.
Yeah.
My mom was born in Australia,
Oh.
raised in Freeport, Long Island. My father was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, cool.
When my grandmother married an Australian during World War I, my grandfather flew one of the biplanes in the American Army.
Whoa.
So they went to Australia. She had 4 kids, and my grandfather wanted to open a sheep farm in the Outbacks, and my grandmother found out that some Aborigines had slaughtered some settlers, and she said, no, I think I'm going to raise 4 kids in Freeport, Long Island, so they moved there.
Yeah.
So my father was in the Air Force, Army, and he was being disembarked. He was not in the war. He was there after the war.
Yeah.
So he met my mother, and my uncle met my mother's sister. All 4 of them would go out and do things, and they ended up getting married. My uncle took my aunt to Lackawanna. My father took my mother to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I was about 2 years old. My uncle called down where we lived in Humboldt, Tennessee, close to Jackson. and say, hey, there's some great jobs in Bethlehem Steel. So
Oh.
we packed up like the Clampetts. We moved to Lackawanna. And,
Yeah.
my parents are in the house we moved in ever since.
Cool.
Until they passed a few years ago.
Now, when did you start like showing like artistic?
Well,
Talents.
my mother and my aunt both had artistic elements to them.
Yeah.
My aunt particularly. So when I was 2 years old, I kind of went under her tutelage and did my first oil painting. I was like 4 years old.
That's nice.
So I was always watching her, seeing what she
Yeah.
was doing, and she was always experimenting, doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
And plus she had an affection for horror comics. So she would read the old EC comics, and then she'd hand them off to me.
Yeah.
And I got a taste for the macabre and the
Those were
strange.
pretty brutal.
Those were.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons they started the comic code, I believe.
The comic code was a result of the McCarthy
Yeah.
era, because McCarthyism, they tried to prove that children's comics were being sapped and purified their precious bodily fluids by comic books, particularly horror comics.
Yeah.
So EC was the best of the bunch. They had the best artists, the best writers. Ray Bradbury wrote for them.
Yeah.
So when they went under the gun with the McCarthy thing, they had to not make those comics anymore. So EC, in order to not go under, started Mad Magazine.
Oh.
Yeah,
That-
Bill
I-
Gaines and his
yeah.
group. So they saved themselves
Yeah.
by
I love those
just
guys.
doing Mad.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a whole batch of those comics as a
Yeah.
kid from
Yeah.
my. From my
We
aunt.
actually have some of your art here, and for those that don't know, you're well known for being at the Pink and painting the
You
Pink.
painted the pink originally.
And then also you said you're from Lackawanna, but you've done some work actually painting the Basilica in Lackawanna for those of our guests. So yeah, can you tell us maybe a little bit about the Pink, your experience maybe with the community there and the building? And I know recently the Pink burnt down, so
Yeah, I know. It was pretty tragic. Mark Supples took over the Pink Flamingo. He leased it from the Brinkworth family. And he had a contest to see who they would pick to do some artwork on it.
Yeah.
So I won,
It's great.
and it was like $1,500. No, it wasn't. What was that? It was like $700.
Oh, okay.
And I said, look, I cannot paint this whole building for $700.
Yeah.
Either you give me $1,500 to do it, or you could have who came in second paint it.
Yeah.
He goes, well, let me think about it. So a day later he calls, said, yeah, go ahead, do it. So, and that was, the very first one.
what era was that?
Very late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. So yeah, 1,500 was more of a chunk of change than it is today with
Yeah.
inflation and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you really can't see a lot of detail.
But I remember that. I remember those.
Yeah, I think the Pink, especially as something that's not really too involved. I mean, it was an iconic building just because of the artwork, both
Yeah.
on the exterior but also the inside. It was a very unique.
And that set the tone.
And I was also the very first person
Yeah.
to carve an image out of the paint on the pillars on the inside. Because as I kept walking back and forth, it took me a month to paint the whole thing. I had scaffolding and all that, and I kept seeing this one area. Kept looking at it, and finally I said, "That looks just like a skull." So I took my pocket knife out, and I scratched out so it was more delineated as a skull. And from that point on, people started carving stuff on the pillars. So I kind of triggered that whole phenomenon, which is kind of
I heard there was art in even in the urinals. There was basically maybe not as formal and as nice looking as yours, but kind of more cave painting art or more informal art everywhere in the building.
every bar bathroom has got some sort of artwork going on.
I
or
remember
something.
over the years watching the different graffiti just change.
Oh, yeah.
And get painted over. And as I was actually, some of the stuff was really cool.
It's like the graffiti is like a fungus that it kind of grows and incorporates.
So we have, a binder here that I'll flip through. But how would you, for those that are maybe just listening, how would you describe? I mean, you're an artist, a writer, a poet. How would you kind of describe yourself and your work? And
Before you flip though, talk about the Basilica.
Yeah, did you feel like Michelangelo when you were painting this?
Yeah, and I had just as much trouble with the Pope as he did. I was there for 2 years. Did a lot of gold leafing.
Whoa.
Some original paintings had to be replaced. Spent a whole year hanging in a spider staging rig under the window wells. It took us a year, me and another artist, and we'd meet at the peak of the wagon wheel where the cord hung down from our spider staging rig.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Paid very badly. The Catholic Church is very cheap when it
Catholic
comes to...
Church, what's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that?
That's
exactly.
not cool.
But anyway, it was a unique experience, and I'm glad I did it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the place quite well.
That's the amazing. That's an art. That's a big art achievement working in the Basilica.
Yeah. It's just a person that sit in the pews. Anytime I'm at a church, whether it's the Basilica or an actual one, you just kind of look up and you just kind of wonder, especially some of the work Michelangelo, you're just in a whole room, you're like, you just don't really kind of comprehend how that's done and how long that takes, and have attention to detail.
Yeah.
Because you're working on details up there that you see and but the people on the ground.
we never were on the actual dome because we couldn't. Because the dome was put up and the floor was still dirt. So after all was done, then they laid the floor because the weight of scaffolding would crack the marble. So they put the floor in last because of that. So we would have to have some kind of a floating rig in order to work on the dome, so that never happened. The church could never pay for astronomical amount of money to have that constructed.
Yeah. Could you figure out something like remove some of the marble?
You can't take the floor out. It's complete. Fits. So anyway, but the ceiling really didn't need anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I noticed one funny thing. One of the times I was up there and I was looking around, and all of a sudden I'm looking at the dome and I'm like, what the hell? Oh, that's funny. One of the artists, all the artists that did the paintings were from Italy.
Yeah.
All the stained glass was done by a company in Buffalo, Andrely and Sons, and I think the stained glass is better than the actual artwork. But some of the figures are kind of stilted. They're like not really graceful, but they're well done. They're not as well done as could have been. But anyway, one of the artisans thought it was funny because he painted a goat or a sheep, and it has its head underneath the dress of one of the saints.
Oh, that's funny. Oh,
yeah.
now could you?
Yeah, you can see it.
You can see it from like a pew.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I never paid attention to it. So one time I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, that's funny. Somebody's having some jokes. Yeah, that was good.
I know there's been vulgar things. I've seen like little pictures here and there where you get up close and there'll be like a vulgar character like doing something or showing a part of their body where you can't see it from the ground.
Michelangelo, when he did the Sistine Chapel, one of the priests he was always having trouble with, and he ended up painting him as one of the sinners with a snake biting him right in his penis.
Nice. Artist revenge.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. At least they never piss off poets or artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get even in curious ways.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned sheep and that you had your parents were related to sheep. I actually have two sheepdogs. So the idea.
You go.
So sheep's, I don't know. For me, I'm kind of a amateur musician, but the idea of a sheepdog, it's a metaphor that I play with my lyrics.
Yeah.
But you're also a poet writer, so I'm wondering, do you have any poetry that you'd like to read? Or maybe specifically anything about sheeps and sheepdogs, or is that not a
anything I've written about sheep is not for public consumption.
I see.
I'm just kidding. I've got some stuff.
Would you like to do a reading of some of your poetry?
Yeah. Let me see here. All right. I've got quite a lot of stuff that I've written in the last few years, but I just isolated a few things. So as far as poetry goes here, all right, page 6.
Look, you just noticing you have a notebook that's numbered and very organized, and seems, at least from an outsider's view, just seeing that you had a table of contents, and seems like the thing that's something I struggle with as an artist is like keeping, controlling and managing and organizing the chaos.
This is my
first of all, my handwriting is absolutely ineligible. It's terrible. So I have to print everything out, and then I prescribe it into the actual book. And then it's, readable. And someone else, if I got hit by a car tomorrow, somebody could decipher this stuff. Otherwise, they'd never be able to.
So what do you got for us? Do you have a
Okay, and this is I've got 4 books of poetry and 4 books of essays, but this is from the first book of poetry. The Other. The unknown is far beyond what you think it is. Behind the moon, past the stars, below the grave. Always something other than what you can fathom. A corpse-haunted scent just on the tip of your memory. Fearful dreams whisper little nightmares into your brain and then recede. You can hide in the far corners of the mind for a while, but the unknown waits for you to come back with its dark. In sullen funeral raiments of dull gray and black satin, with no fanfare, you'll come and abandon yourself to the dance of the dead. Abandon yourself to the terrible sweetness of the dead, of the dead, of the dead, always of the dead.
nice?
Yeah,
Because
that's-
poets, they deserve a light clap. What's the
it's
So that's one. And here's another one called Parental Games. Children will always hide in the dark, with the lights out, in confined closets and under sheltering beds and under cellar stairs, anywhere they can be constrained in close quarters. Like the mystery alchemized by insect cocoons, they hide remembering the expulsion from the womb, reliving back before birth when spirit was not yet surrounded by the body, with experience just a clean slate yet to be written. But there's always a fear that something is hunting them, an instinctual memory that something from an unknown future will with certainty diligently sniff out their innocence for ill intent. The boogeyman, the thing under the bed, the ripper, the maniac, El Kulu, the lust-moored soul thief, all the acolytes are the monsters of fear, each and every night dwelling on young impressionable minds, forever looking for the proverbial sacrificial lamb, nor the coward children at the cannibal submission of ownership, breast-suckling babes forevermore yearning for parental caresses of safety.
oh, it's dark. I like the cocoon.
I hear lots of imagery of nature, but also lots of illusions of life and death and
Yeah.
spirits and
Yeah, a lot of my poetry, I'm kind of trying to invoke a new type of metaphysics
Yeah.
in my poetry. I mean, I've seen classic books of metaphysics.
Yeah.
It's all Christian stuff.
Yeah.
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 It's not. It doesn't really do with like physics and whatnot. It deals with basically religious Parthenon stuff. So I'm trying to do something new with that.
It's funny how so much stuff is like, oh, this is some new age thing. It's just a different version of Christianity. Or it's a different.
And
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Right.
I mean, we're obviously hearing the final product, but can you talk maybe a little bit about how do these things evolve for you? Are you aiming at something that you are trying to convey? Is it something that just kind of comes to you in bits and pieces? Does it come to
It's
you?
a combination of everything. You know, just whatever might hit me at one given moment and just spark an idea. Oh, quick! I grab the pencil. I always use Nixon Ticonderoga soft pencils. They're the best pencil you can buy. Only thing is they're kind of wobbly. See, look.
Ah, it is wild. It's a rubber.
Yeah, that's wild. Jeez.
Anyway, they're really good pencils. And I always drew my stuff in pencil because I'll be reading something and I'll go back to it a month later and look at it and like, that sentence is kind of, and I'll erase and redo it. So I've done that numerous times with a lot of things.
So do you kind of have like a notebook where you just are really collecting ideas as they come and then you're polishing it, or do you literally start with one poem that you just have it, you write a line, you erase it? Like kind of what's your process of actually like sanding it and refining it to get to like where it is, like it's a readable
It's a
piece?
combination. I mean, I basically write when I wake up and when I go to bed. I write pretty much right in bed.
Yeah.
And there's a number of people, poets and famous writers, that get their best work written in bed.
Yeah.
And I found that works for me. So I'll get into bed and I'll just, because I'm surrounded.
Yeah.
I've got like a desk, I got a wall of books, and I've got this, that, and the other thing, and my thesaurus, everything is like right around me, kind of like his
Like a workstation.
workstation. Yeah. So I'll just grab the pad and I'll just I'm gonna start writing something, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, and I just scrap it. But usually it just.
Will you ever like right before you go into sleep, think of something and go like, I have to write that down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that happens to me. I'm all comfortable
Yeah.
in crap, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh crap. Yeah, click on the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Nice. And then I know I've heard people talk about like the muse or like a spirit that comes to you that gives you your ideas. Where do you think your ideas come from, or do you have any sort of metaphysical thing of where your art emerges from?
Well, just basic life experience of, what has happened to me and my studies. Every little piece of information that I gather, it gets distilled and comes out creatively, or hopefully creatively. And when I was in my early 20s, I thought I might become a Renaissance man modeled after Leonardo da Vinci. So that was kind of my intention.
Yeah.
And
But you're pretty close to that. I would.
Yeah, it seems like you're like the Lackawanna or the Leonardo da Vinci of Lackawanna,
Yeah.
and I mean that in a very respectful, full way because
But you're painting. Could we see more of your paintings?
Yeah, so that's I mean
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
So so not only are you a writer and poet, but you also have some artwork that this is your book that we'll flip through. So just to give stop me if there's a specific piece you want to talk
You're
about.
not seeing the whole piece, though. You're only getting half of it. You gotta
I think the zoom.
the other way, up more.
Let's see
You
if
have
I
a
could,
zoom?
this remote. Let's see if we can zoom out.
Oh man.
There you go.
But yeah, the detail. Just.
Yeah, that's a 8 by 10 oil painting. The original is almost that size.
It's gonna we see skulls.
Detail. Yeah.
That's a life-size oil painting
Yeah.
that I spent quite a bit of time on. That's hanging in my living room.
Yeah.
And the woman in the main figure is the actress Barbara Steele.
Oh. Was she in horror movies?
Yeah, she was a very famous horror actress.
Yeah.
It's almost like I mean I don't have an art. I'm not really a visual artist. I don't have the. I'm sure there's specific terminology, but it's almost like illusionist.
That painting there is very detailed.
Yeah. Can you do a? Yeah. That. Yeah. Now I've seen. Because we did a Lovecraft show the one day. Oh yeah, you got the clowns. Oh yeah, cat people. I see a cat person. Oh my. Yeah.
In fact, see that little corner, that little square?
Oh man.
That's the painting you just saw. Yeah,
Right
that's the painting you just saw as a postcard in miniature.
Which is this
I can
one.
work. Yeah, I can work very, very small when I
Whoa.
have to.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the detail. Yeah. But there's so much there. And I like that. Yeah. He didn't like eyes becoming.
And there's me in the corner there, so
yeah.
the profile.
Yeah. I see. There's a blue egg,
Right.
and there's.
See how does your
The title of that painting is "The Easter Bunny Took Me for One Big Ride," or am I by Peeper's Keeper? Because there's a little peep floating in the bottom of the water of the piece.
which is down.
Yeah,
see
oh
it?
wow.
See,
Yeah.
there's the peep next to the
Oh, I see
person
that.
smoking a cigarette. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that piece.
See,
Now,
what-
how long did that take?
That took about a month and a half.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much every day working on it.
we got some robin net. Let's see if I can more nature.
No, that's straight out of Lovecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's
It's like,
Yog Shagath or the Wilbur Whately's brother or whatever kind of a thing.
We have a more. Here's again the themes
There's-
of nature with the
Yeah, I like
robin's eggs and origami.
But
Yeah, the origami bird is also the same thing as the branch. There's also a bird and a
that's
simile
disturbing.
there.
So how does your poetry and writing influence your painting and vice versa? How, do you see them as two distinct things? Are they the same thing? Are they kind of a Venn diagram of they have similarities?
They're all completely symbiotic in some way or another.
Because I can definitely see some of the themes that your poetry touched on. I can definitely identify it. It's just harder. I feel like sometimes language is very limiting and being able to explain. Does the robin? It looks like another robin's egg to me. Does that have any sort of significance to you, or is that?
Not as a robin's egg, just blue eggs look very attractive, so I gave it that color. That piece there is, if you get the other one,
Yeah.
it's a portrait of Dante. It's his profile.
Yeah, like a profile pic.
See the profile of Dante?
Well, yeah. Well, he did the seven hells. Or
Yeah,
was
the
it
Inferno. So
yeah.
that's all the spirits making up his face.
Oh, have you seen? You've probably seen the illustrations from the
Oh,
classic book.
Ghost of Duray.
Yeah, my mother used to have that copy of that. That was I love looking through that. You know, they'd have different levels of heaven.
And
Yeah.
that piece there is the exact size. That's a trumpe l'oeil. Everything in it is the exact size of the card.
And it wants to know what your shirt says. So let's go to the
It says, "I drink and I know
and
things."
I know things. Yes.
Interesting.
People may have been just thinking, "Oh, you got a shirt that says I drink. Guy must be a drunk." No, I drink and I know things. It's from
From Game of Thrones, a great show. One of the best shows have been on TV.
Peter Dinklage said
Peter
that.
Dinklage,
The Lord Tyrion, the dwarf, and the Lannister family. And the scene was, he was talking to two other people, and he goes, "Dragons do not fare well in captivity."
Yeah.
How do you know that? It's what I do. I drink and I know things.
yeah. And this guy sits there down. I drink and I know. Yeah. That was, oh my God. Yeah, that was great.
Now, this piece got turned sideways. And that's a pencil drawing. I did that when I was about 21 years old.
Oh, okay.
When I
Those
first-
are interesting. The things from.
This is like your life's portfolio almost.
It is.
Whoa.
When I first started to try to classically become a surrealist painter,
Yeah.
I was about 21 years old.
Yeah.
I still, kind of green, but I was getting some real hardcore results in my work.
Yeah.
So that piece, at that time, I didn't even have a studio. I had a bedroom.
Yeah.
So we're moving on.
Oh no, I'm just kind of.
Yeah.
You can keep talking. I'm just kind of trying to get through. You got a big binder here, so.
Okay, all right, you can go to the next one since we're sideways on it now.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, that piece that I was working on it, and I would smoke hashish,
Yeah.
put my headphones on, and listen to Uma Guma by Pink Floyd at 16 speed.
16
work-
faster or 16 slower?
16 is slow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And that drawing, which we had just looked at before this one, was realized under those influences.
Wow.
I was kind of building off your shirt. I was wondering the role that drugs, psychedelics, beer, or I think a lot of artists talk about a flow state. So I'm curious how maybe some extracurricular activities or some
I did
Yeah,
LSD.
how they
I did LSD 5 times.
Oh,
That's all.
do you feel like that influenced your art at all?
Absolutely. And not influence art, it influenced my understanding of reality. That reality was suspect and was not what people thought it was.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of we're all kind of coming to that conclusion
Yeah.
very slowly, maybe.
And I was 18 years old. I never smoked pot before, and I did a 4-way hit. Unbeknownst to me, I was supposed to only take a little quarter, but I took the whole thing. And it redefined my understanding of reality. So it was a very important situation that I went through.
Oh, and it was a positive experience for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
But-
Because most people, when they did LSD, they never did enough at one time for it to be life-changing. It was always just kind of, I saw some stuff, and it was floaty, and, but this was, At one point, I disappeared entirely when I closed my eyes, and I no longer existed.
Whoa.
And I had this white, blinding light that was brighter than anything I ever experienced.
Wow.
Plus, I was no longer afraid of my father.
Oh.
I realized he was playing this control game
okay.
of I'm the king of the castle
Yeah.
type thing. And at that point, I knew it was a game. I said, I know what he's doing. So, bye.
Okay.
Anyway, it was very life. Anyway, there's
Did you go to get formal schooling for painting? Or?
no, actually, I went to UB
Yeah.
and approached the curriculum activities, and I'm like, well, where's the teachings of technique? Oh, we don't teach that here. We teach you to be creative.
Yeah.
I go, but I am creative. I want to learn the technique of the old masters.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't teach that stuff.
Yeah.
So I should be paying you for something I don't need? No, that's okay. So I didactically, conduct my own education from that point on.
Oh, that's
And I've
That's
continued,
great. Yeah.
up till now.
That's yeah.
These are airbrush paintings.
Okay, they almost look like different mediums.
Yeah, I like airbrush. I like oil the best.
Yeah.
I do.
I know you're
I think you're missing the one. No,
Ooh,
you're only getting one half.
Oh
of
yeah,
the page.
let's see what
There's
the
a double
other half.
page. You gotta slide the book around.
Yeah.
See everything.
Can you see what's it?
There we
Oh, okay.
This
That-
reminds me of your work, John. If
Oh yeah, because I have more ladies on mine. Yeah.
That piece I'm gonna redo as an oil painting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was at Story Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That creature
Yeah.
is actually a real creature.
Oh.
It's a microscopic animal that causes dysentery in tropical countries.
There.
So
maybe they live in whale falls.
So what I tried to do was
Yeah.
show what a virgin would imagine what sex would be like in a manifestation of some archetypal entity. And that's what that's trying to illustrate. You
Yeah.
see like the penis-looking thing coming out of it.
Yeah.
And that flame in the middle, that's like the kundalini rising in her spine of awareness of sexuality. That's what this is trying to symbolize.
Huh. That's I think why I like art is it's simple, but it's not at the same time. It's
And that other one there is Bethlehem steel.
the smokestacks.
So do you remember I remember the days when it was belching forth.
Oh, yeah.
Pollutants.
Mordor.
Mordor, yeah.
Mordor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I worked in Bethlehem Steel for 6 years.
Oh, cool.
Straight out of high school.
I wonder if you knew any of our relatives, any Guillermis?
No, no.
Okay. Different Ferrellos. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your kind of thoughts? I know you would you have some opinions on the kind of the future of art when we talk about maybe like artificial intelligence. I know that's been a popular thing of actual computer generated art. So, kind of, what are some of your thoughts in that?
I have a couple of things I wrote here on the subject. Maybe I could read one.
Yeah.
Because I know as someone, I guess I never really evolved beyond stick figures, but I'm interested in computer art. But so it's I think it's an interesting time just as an artist in general, especially
Right,
with.
but AI is not computer art. It's not CGI. You're not constructing frame images and you're putting skin on them, you're putting light on them. You're just writing a text and hitting a button. That's what AI is. That's why it's so controversial, because it's not really art.
Yeah.
Somebody's not doing it in any way, fashion. The computer is doing it completely, just out of a few word prompts. That's where the controversy rises.
And it is taking images of other people that it's taken from the internet.
It's taking as much as it can steal to get a grip on how to come up with something.
Which, honestly, I feel I'm inspired by everything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like
I've only seen
Easy way
one
out.
artist that uses AI in a way that is surprising. Some guy named Lanny Quarles.
Oh.
His stuff is really quite insane.
Oh, I think was that the stuff you showed me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
that cat.
Lenny Corals.
yeah.
Yeah, his name is Lanny Quarles.
Yeah. What poetry do you have about the AI? Because I think it's just an interesting time to be a human being and to be interested in art. And computing.
Anyways, it's not poetry. It's a little essay. It's called "Bye Bye Evil AI," like "Bye Bye American Pie." You know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Artificial intelligence, or as commonly referred to as AI, will eventually make everyone an artist. So much so that art as we know it will cease to be a phenomenon outside of random neurotic traditionalist holdouts eschewing and administering chemical-based and soon to be obsolete materials primarily to protest with futility the sudden rise of the machine mind. A cold, calculating, collating conspirator that ultimately has come to the conclusion that the only way to save the Earth is to eliminate the species catalog to be identified as Homo sapien. So that's one of my little AI things.
That's what I'm against. Like we do talk about because where is it going to go? I mean,
Yeah, it's-
AI and computers and
feels to me like we're evolving from Homo sapien to something else where our biology's maybe not evolving,
Yeah.
but our intelligence is being impacted by just computing in general and AI.
yeah,
Yeah,
Specifically.
but what's even more distinct from AI is the whole biology of robotics that is becoming a phenomenon. Whereas, as we're slowly evolving into replacement parts, at some point, the replacement parts will outnumber the natural structure of the body, and it'll be a slow osmosis transition to the machine person.
Yeah.
And it happens bit by bit. I mean,
yeah.
it's inevitable.
That's I mean,
Rubber.
it's like you want to go into the future and see what's that like, or the things like I never thought Facebook would screw us up as much as it did, but it has, and then other things have screwed us up even more, and it's like, there have been good things too, you know. It's come from it.
Well, everything is a double-edged sword. You know.
Yeah.
So how should we be reacting to this new force in art? Should we ignore it completely, try to adopt it in our work, or what's kind of your thoughts on how we should?
Try to not give it any special credence other than just a tool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I look at AI.
Yeah. I would like too if they legally did something where whenever there's an AI image, this is an AI image.
Oh yeah, like a little watermark almost.
Yeah, on anything, so people don't get. Because it is kind of screwing up people. Like they see it now. Like there's pictures of women who are absolutely perfect, but it's annoying.
Oh, I know somebody
Yeah.
that whenever she puts her face on the screen,
Yeah.
I know what she looks like,
Yeah.
and that's not what she looks like. She
Yeah.
has a kind of a round face, and she elongates it, and they do that type of thing too.
Yeah.
They
Maybe
enhance themselves.
Just the doctoring of images too, which is
Well, the main problem with that is eventually reality itself is going to be suspect because
Yeah.
AI and computer generated imagery was so.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing already. When the ads for
Yeah.
Trump was doing that.
Yeah.
He had some altered ads he was doing about Harris. That it
Yeah.
wasn't even her. It
Yeah.
wasn't this. It wasn't
yeah.
that.
Or even they're like, oh no, her ads aren't real. That's AI.
Oh, the crowd thing.
Yeah, where it's like, so that's also where it's getting people to doubt,
Oh yeah, to doubt anything.
everything.
Doubt everything. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
which is like kind of the goal of certain autocrats is to just get people to flood the zone with shit and to get people to just doubt everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
You know.
Disinformation will
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've talked to people who are like, I don't know what to believe. Like, you know, it's scary. Yeah, but but sometimes too, I kind of see AI as like just another smart, good artist that could inspire me. Like I look at it and I'm like,
I've
whoa,
only seen one artist
yeah,
that actually
That one.
inspires me. It's that
yeah,
guy.
that guy, yeah.
which I pulled them up on here.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Yeah. Try to get.
Okay. I don't know what.
What we're looking at now, it's actually sideways.
Just the art of writing a prompt. Like anybody can say a prompt, but there's actually techniques and
Yeah,
also
what he does is he puts all these crazy prompts in a soup, and puts them all together. And the A is like, what the fuck? And comes up with it. So
But yeah.
this piece here is a watercolor, the round one. And that was actually a cover I did for the Deep Purple many years ago. Unfortunately, it was never used because they broke up in order to collect a slush fund of some millions of dollars they had put aside. So by the time they got back together and made another record, it wasn't what was supposed to happen
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
between me and them.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Now that's also a watercolor,
Oh, that's, yeah.
and that's a really bad reproduction of it. But it took me 6 months to paint that.
But
There's some figures in there that are like the size of twice the head of a pin. Really? Yep. And those are, wait, go back. And that's close-ups of it in the bottom. There you go. Those are some close-ups of it. Getting some reflection there.
oh, okay. Oh, I see that on face.
I see like a board game. I could see it being a board game or some sort of
A board
like a
game.
fantasy book. It seems just like the cover of like a fantasy.
It's a bit more weird than,
Yeah.
than Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Very dreamlike.
That's also watercolor.
Yeah. But oh, you have you have the woman half submerged in like a rainbow thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually part of the South Park golf course.
Oh.
That
Oh,
he's on that one side where the bridge would be, and that's the long lake that runs next to the railroad tracks. I spent a lot of time in that area as a child growing up. It was like this private little woodland area, which was
was there stuff you liked to draw when you were a kid? Or like it was
monsters.
Yeah,
I was obsessed with monsters.
I was. Yeah, I was into monsters. I was more into like Godzilla type of monsters.
I didn't
Dinosaurs.
like Godzilla.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There's a guy in a rubber suit.
yeah.
In
Okay,
fact, when I was a kid, if somebody preferred Godzilla to King Kong,
okay.
I didn't call him again.
Real okay. You were that not into him.
Because
Okay.
one was a guy in a big rubber suit, and the
One
other
was
one
like-
was a state-of-the-art animation.
Yeah, yeah.
And I understood the difference.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. Plus, you know, I don't like those Japanese
Yeah,
films. I really
yeah.
never did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm curious, how do you? Obviously, your art and your poetry seems like it takes a lot from nature. But how does your time in nature actually inspire your artwork? Do you use like going out into the wilderness as a way to like refresh your batteries and get creative
Oh,
inspiration?
absolutely.
or-
As much as I can. Unfortunately, not as much as I should. Though I do have a backyard that's actually a full lot next to my house. So I do have an environment there where I can, you know, watch insects buzz around my garden and whatnot. So that's been very helpful.
I guess yeah.
long term.
Do you have any strategies for like turbo fueling your creative thought, and or like do you have like a routine to like actually try to attract creative ideas and inspiration for your work, or do you just feel like you just go about your life and it just comes to you as you go?
No, I use, you know, reading, my studies. I have a fairly extensive library. Music.
Yeah.
When I paint, I constantly listen to music. I've got a very large collection of different types of music, particularly like abstract electronic music,
Okay.
very strange
Yeah.
music, some classic rock, particularly prog rock. I like King Crimson quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Carl?
Jazz, I like hardcore jazz, Miles Davis, Coltrane, those guys.
I recommend. There's a band called Khruangbin I like.
Khruangbin?
Khruangbin.
Ben.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know
they're a trio, and they do kind of it's kind of it's jazz it's jazz but it's kind of like has a very Cambodian music influence, but also it's just good music.
You ever heard like Vietnamese music during the Vietnam era?
No,
That stuff's nuts. Those
Right.
guys are playing Western rock music, and they're Vietnamese, and they're playing for the GIs
Yeah.
in Vietnam during the war. Some of that stuff is absolutely crazy.
I've
It's
heard
just
that.
nuts.
Oh,
It's very
okay.
difficult to get a hold of.
I've
But it's
heard-
out there somewhere. I've heard some of it. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
I've heard a lot of the ocean music, like, but what they like right now, like
that stuff gets me interested. I mean, I'm a Tragically Hip fan, so I know there's like recordings of like obscure shows in like Nova Scotia from like '92 that are only recorded on someone's cassette, or even I'm part of the Gamelan group in Buffalo, and there are like recordings of like gamelan music being played in the '60s, but it's only on some recording.
Gamelan music from Bali.
Yeah, Bali and Java. So it's just the same type of thing where there's it's really hard to find. It's not. I think that's kind of part of it seems like with the internet, music's just so available to us. You can go to Spotify, click and find whatever. But I think I remember the days kind of pre-internet where you actually had to go seek out music. But I think, like you're saying, those rare recordings of like, oh no, this show is only recorded on a dozen cassettes and they're in people's attics, or there's rare gamelan recordings and somebody.
Yeah, like what's that group? Wu Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang
Clan.
Clan.
Yeah.
There's a record by them that only 4 copies have been made, and 3 of them are accounted for. One of them's still out there, and whoever finds that copy can sell it for like $300,000.
Whoa,
Because it's like one of the rarest records on the planet.
whoa. So keep your eyes out at the garage sales.
Maybe Diddy has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just using it as a leverage over his political foes.
Exactly. Yeah. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah, I did hear he just got in trouble.
Big trouble.
Oh.
He might end up spending the rest of his life in jail.
Well,
Racketeering, arson, all kinds of stuff. Plus, outside of the sexual, stuff,
The
imprisonment,
whole-
everything. The guy is, and his lawyer's like, well, he's innocent,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I like when rich people go to jail. I wish more of them would. It's just,
So rich people doing illegal stuff and
Yeah.
getting away with it.
yeah, that's what bugs me. Yeah.
I think there's the quote, "Power corrupts." Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I even know, what do you think the thing is with artists? And I know a lot of artists struggle with like depression or mental illness. What do you think is kind of the crossover? What is that? What's that? It seems like people that are normal or people that are civilized. Like there's a whole host of people that aren't artistic, but then there are a certain subgroup of people that are, artistically inclined, but also suffer. I mean, in traditional terms with mental illness, but also have like a very special gift. What do you think's going on there?
Creativity can't be put into a category. Excuse me. Particularly one that has definitions of what is insane or what is neurotic, because the pharmaceutical industry uses all of these structures to be able to administer medicines to a specific delineation of what they say is a type of symptom. And it's a money-making structure. So the psychiatric industry has also fallen in cahoots with the pharmaceutical industry. So, certainly people have mental issues, but normal is something that doesn't exist, because not a single person on this planet is normal. They pretend they are. They live under the auspices of normalcy, which makes civilization run, but nobody realizes the fact that this entire world is completely fucking insane.
Yeah.
So
think
that's my take on that.
Well, you've probably encountered as an artist both someone that uses words as art, but also someone that uses words. And I think I've encountered this too, of like language is so limiting in what it can describe, and there's some experiences that you can't really, like language and words is such a imperfect, or it's a container that's trying to convey something that really can't be, because ultimately, And I think something I've there's a term I think in Japanese philosophy, and I know I've heard terms of Japan, if they have words for things that then when you try to translate it in English and other languages have like terms, like I think in design, Japanese design philosophy, they have a term for like human imperfection. So if you're like an architect or you're designing a thing and there's little quirks that you like, Western people would consider mistakes. They actually viewed that mistake as part of the beauty of the structure, but they have a word for it that you say in Japan, the word, and everyone knows it. Whereas
we don't even have it.
Well, I think that's also.
I think it translates as "oops."
Yeah, but like because
It's a good oops.
Yeah.
but because we as English speakers lack a word for it, so I think language is powerful for what you can say, but also sometimes what words your language doesn't have, I think also speaks to, like you're saying, like, because even, the term normal, you're trying to describe things, and it's just interesting what language can and cannot describe, if that makes sense.
There's a book that I suggest to people to read that really influenced me in many ways. It's by a psychiatrist named Stanislav Grof. It's called Beyond the Brain, Birth, Transcendence, and Death. And very amazing piece of writing. Very, very intriguing and groundbreaking in many ways.
What's kind of the gist of the Spark Notes version of?
He was a psychiatrist in a mental hospital in New York City. He's Czechoslovakian. And he started giving people LSD back in the late 50s. He was trying to find out the hallucinations they had, what was the central ground structure of them, and how they pertained to whatever neurotic or mental illness that they were diagnosed as perhaps a link to understanding their situation. And he thought that everybody would have separate, weird, bizarre hallucinations, but they didn't. They all had the same hallucinations. And that sparked him to say, well, why the hell is that? So he spent 20 years after, he'd given to all kinds of people, inmates in the asylum, artists, writers, and himself, other people. And he slowly developed a theory that all of our ideas of experience are based on the 4 prenatal matrices of birth delivery. And that causes everything that we relate to is based on that original origin of being born. And after he did that, he started to say, well, everything concerning physics is wrong also, because there is so much more going on in the structure of thought and how it relates with the universe, that he started studying metaphysics and quantum physics. And it's a very profound book. I find it the most interesting book I've ever read.
Yeah. Well, I heard, the idea of, birth is, the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to us. And I have heard, theories of, people who say they're, abducted by aliens. They're saying, well, that's just birth trauma coming out in a separate way, where, and they describe in themselves that, the people were by themselves, then they were taken up.
Exactly.
And then they were, they saw people with huge heads, which it could have been, when you're born, you see doctors.
Yeah,
you
exactly. That's exactly what he's talking about.
So, we have birth trauma. Birth
trauma, but also I feel like there's such trauma in our culture about death, because just when you think of just the way we treat death, it's really, to my eyes, seems like we just kind of everyone knows we're dying, but we don't talk about it, we don't think about it, and when people die, it's just kind of, it's over there, we put them in a box, and versus I read some other, one Native American culture, I know that they were kind of somewhat nomadic, where they would stay in spots for 10, 15 years, but when they would get up, they would actually go dig up their ancestors' bones and carry them with them, which is just, to our culture, just we put them in a wood box, out of sight, out of mind. We're kind of very much detached from the reality, where I feel like that's probably a trauma of, we're all going there. But
it's like people that have near-death experiences, and they say they see the light. Now, that's also a memory of going through the birth canal out into the into the elementary light. Yeah. Anyway, this book's pretty profound. Yeah. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. I'll read that, or look into it, because I think it's we're always open for new. I think we always talk about ideas on our show.
Yeah, so different concepts and
we I think it's just something. I think our culture just has and like you touched on a little bit with the pharmaceutical industry, just our whole relationship with health, with there's the birth when we come into life, there's death when our life ends, and there's the whole life that we have while we're here, and there's just so much, like you're saying, there's so much that's just backwards or wrong with it.
That's why it's interesting now that they've finally started using psychedelics as an actual means of treatment of different people's problems. Which never should have been stopped in the first place, but of course the Nixon administration wanted to make sure the youths weren't going to have any more control, so they would try to swell the independent thinking
Yeah.
which was going on.
I think, we discussed too about like Timothy Leary did kind of screw stuff up because the way he went about like presenting it to the public in a very unprofessional
Well,
way.
he was a bit of a barnstormer.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
I
Became
think-
a celebrity.
I think you are starting to see and feel cracks of like the medical establishment. I feel like it was much easier to kind of suppress ideas like this, where now with the internet people can share, and I think you're slowly and maybe hopefully quickly, I think things like you're saying of these, Schedule 1 drugs that are dangerous are slowly starting to come up. Hey, like obviously they're dangerous if you abuse them. Lots of things are dangerous, but also they have some really profound potential to impact humanity positively. Because I think,
yeah.
so many people have positive LSD stories, ayahuasca. There's so many
Yeah,
native plants
exactly.
and hallucination plants that I think someone compared LSD to like your mind kind of has like if you ski on a hill and you are going down the same path every day, and what LSD or what some of these hallucinogens do, essentially just put fresh snow in your mouth and they kind of reset your neural pathways.
No.
That's it.
You're going down the hill, and when you're doing LSD, you get pushed off the cliff. And you're in free
Yeah.
space for a while before you hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever done LSD?
I have not. It's something that's interests me, but yeah, I've never
Yeah.
never done it before.
I haven't either. Yeah. But also too, like I've heard people having bad experiences and stuff, and
Well, like anything else.
yeah. But yeah, but it's intriguing. Yeah.
So, what's your hope for the future as an artist? What's the future of art? What is kind of the role of art in your
I read that with the AI.
the AI? But yeah, so
There is no future in art.
no. So as artists, should we just kick
Oh,
back
well.
and let the world burn, or what's the kind of our role as artists? Is
No,
it to,
continue your vision. You work to the last second.
yeah, and view the AI as a tool versus something to kind of
A tool, possibly. But it's not in public domain as a tool. Not really.
At this point, I just kind of see AI as like a new kid in class. You kind of like look at him and see what he's doing, and try to get inspired by him.
I kind of look at him as kind of a Eddie Haskell kid in school.
Yeah,
You're not sure what he's up to.
yeah.
That's right, because I think AI will do great, like liberating humans from so many rudimentary, mundane jobs where people are just doing the same task over and over again. Where computers are much better at doing that, but the art stuff, where it's like you're saying, creativity, it's very hard to kind of quantify where creative thoughts come from. That I think will be humans. I feel like are uniquely positioned to have good minds to like, be creative. Whereas I think it's very hard for computers. Computers are good at saying taking all art in the world and generating something, but creating own original thoughts and own original work. They're good at copying and taking stuff, but actually generating new ideas. I don't know if they're.
Yeah.
I think that's where humans. I'd love to see AI kind of liberate humans from the mundane, repetitive tasks and allow people to
That
be
was the original
creative.
intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that does work.
Yeah.
But it's got its, like everything else, it's got the evil and the negative aspect to it also. So
Yeah.
comes with the program.
But yeah, I just like I say, I want a Rosie. I want a Rosie River to clean up my house and stuff, or like I think there's a robot called Rosie, the robot that would come and clean your house and do the boring stuff.
She clean your clock?
No, I think she was from the Jetsons. Maybe she would. I remember she would come in and do stuff and.
Well, I would say that too. It seems like popular culture always depicted the flying car. It seems like at some point we just gave up on flying cars. Now we're just like, okay, we're going to be ground-based, electrical.
Yeah.
We have about 5 minutes left, and we have some comments from the audience. I think that the feedback's been generally positive, so that people are saying,
Annette
great
is-
cast, amen,
Oh.
the book, So audience, I encourage you, if you're listening, if you have any questions for us.
What does goops mean?
Annette.
Goops. I think it's oops and yeah.
Oops. Yeah. But I need to come. Maybe she's.
Oh, what's his shirt say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, any of the viewers, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'd be glad to have you participate here. But
What
yeah.
is the name of that book you mentioned about the
Transcending
prenatal
Beyond the Brain.
beyond the brain? Okay. Beyond
Birth, Death, and Transcendence, Stanislav Grof.
the brain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I work with Annette. Me and her are work buddies.
Oh, okay.
We toil and create and
Yeah.
fix things all day. The old Tesla factory there.
Do you have any more pieces of your writing like you'd
Yeah,
like to share with our
let me
audience?
see what I can read here. Oh, here's another one about AI.
Perfect.
What is ain't and what ain't is? In the distant future, the future will not be in the future. For all postulation of reality will harbor grave religious suspicions and bold scientific assurances that everything in relativity has already happened, and reality is just a hyperspace abstraction of the metaverse, a projection of a withdrawn eternal consciousness that is not able to be calculated by moments in transition or gauged by speculative deduction as of have or have not happened as of yet. Reality suggests the possibility of permeability of multiple infinite spatial veritable time and space coordinates that predestinates rational fallibilities of the human experience in and out of learning technologies and wish fulfillment beliefs. That's a mouthful, yes.
So what are some of your thoughts on the metaverse? I know some people. It seems like we're going towards where the digital and the reality are interfacing. But
There's one more follow-up on the AI, then I'll answer your question. AI Superfly. Artificial intelligence, commonly called AI, can never replace tried and tested down-home fundamental basic human stupidity. Now, what was your question?
the metaverse. Are you familiar with the? Obviously,
Yeah,
just in your
yeah,
rating.
of
So,
course,
what are
yeah.
some of your thoughts on the metaverse?
There are probably many different universes, all in a bootstrap bubble of continuity, and metaverse could very well be something that is actually occurring beyond our comprehension.
That's pretty.
Yeah, like a bubble. Yeah, I like that
Profound.
bubble universe. Like they're attached to each other and they're maybe
Yeah,
copies
I
of
mean,
each other
why not?
or reflections of each
I
other.
mean, our own reality, we don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
I mean, here's you ever study quantum physics?
I've tried to get a gist of it.
We interviewed a physics professor
Yeah.
once, and he told us that aliens might have their own different type of math. That
Yeah.
kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
but
yeah, that's possible. But the main thing is, if you look at something, it changes from a particle to a wave. If you don't look at it, it's a particle. And when you look at it, it turns into a wave. And that's been proven with mathematics and instrumentality that actually does happen. It's not a speculative thing that maybe it happens. It's not a theory. It actually physically happens. When you look at something, it turns into a wave. And when you look away from it, it goes back to a particle.
Well,
So
that's what does that mean?
That's pretty-
That's profound.
it's more than profound. It's insane.
Yeah. It's
And
insane,
it's
but
true, and
yeah.
it's actually happening. It's not like a theory. It's really a physical phenomenon.
What do you think that means?
That means that all thought is inducible as spread out instantaneously at all times in the entire universe. There is no separation from you, me, this table, the kid next door, the dogs in the hall. Everything is one single thing in the entire structure of all reality. That's what I think.
Whoa.
Well, I think that's a pretty good place to end the show.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks,
thank you, Frederick, on, and we enjoyed
Thank you for having me.
the
Yeah.
interview, and
Maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah,
Where
maybe,
can our viewers
back
find your work? Do you have
You can go to Fine Art America, and I've got a number of paintings available to look at and to purchase prints of, including even making your phone case one of my pieces of artwork.
nice? Well, thank you, Frederick, and we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, audience, and till next time, it's Small Talk with Matt and John.
Yeah. Bye, folks. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Fade to black.
Yeah. Fade black. Okay, I believe.